Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. Hawks lose 5-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights at the United Center. We've got the full game wrap-up for you. Thanks for being with us. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen. Mario Tirabassi is back at the United Center and will join us as soon as his postgame duties are wrapped up. Duty. That was, despite the game, the outcome, it was a fun game. High offense. The Hawks hung in there with the defending Stanley Cup champion. We're going to get to all of that, but as we do every game, you get to vote for the fourth star of the game. The 3 stars were Paul Cotter, Nick Roy, and Amadio's. What's Amadio's first name? It's me, Amadio. It doesn't matter what his name is. So your nominees for the 4-star, Nick Foligno, he had 3 shots, an assist, 2 hits, and 1450 of ice time. Reese Johnson, a goal, +1, 2 shots, 2 block shots, and 2 hits. Alex Vlasic with 3 hits, 1745 of ice time, and just really solid, calm defense. Really good game for him. So get that vote in on the YouTube page, and we'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. And while you're there, make sure you smash that like button for us. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. Podcast listeners, we appreciate you too. Please follow, subscribe, whatever your favorite app calls for, and take 30 seconds and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. So, Greg, let's start with what's on everyone's mind. Connor Bedard scores on his first United Center shot.
There's only one so far.
Yes, left wide open. Right there in the middle of the ice. It's like I think he kind of hid behind the ref. If you watch the replay, he kind of snuck behind the referee and then found himself all the ice he needed and did not make a mistake, and that was the loudest I have heard of the United Center in a really long time.
Yeah, it was like a storybook play, First power play, he went out there on the ship, won the opening draw, which got a big ovation. I don't remember too many cheers for winning an opening draw, but he won the opening draw. There's a ton of energy in the building for tonight, and it was building up, and then that power play, I mean, nobody wide open from the slot, nobody within 20 feet of him, and Aiden Hill had no chance.
Yeah, he's not going to miss that one very often.
He's not going to miss from that spot of the ice. Great shot, great moment. Place was up for grabs, and then, Vegas comes right back. The Hawks start. They get the early goal from Bedard, and then they take 4 penalties before the end of the first period.
Yeah, not great.
It just takes all the energy out of the building. That means now Connor Bedard is not on the ice for 8 minutes of the first period after he scores his goal.
Yep.
They took, 5 penalties the entire night? Vegas had 5 power plays. Yes, 5 power plays for Vegas. Both teams getting 5 power plays. So that's 10 minutes. That's, 1/6 of the game.
Yeah.
Connor Bedard isn't on the ice. You got to be better than that, especially in that first. They took that first penalty like a minute after the goal. Like the crowd hadn't even stopped cheering for the goal, and it's the parade of the penalty box.
Well, look, I mean, Vegas is a juggernaut. They are a great team. They are undefeated. They're 6-0 to start the season.
They're going to break Boston's regular season record.
They're on pace for it.
They're going to go 82-0, and then they're going to get swept in the first round of playoffs, and it's going to be great.
It's just, and it's not an excuse. I think for the most part of the game, the Hawks were hanging in there with them. And, you're going to dig into the metrics, and you're going to see that Vegas had a big, possession advantage, but that's what you expect. In terms of was this game at any point winnable for the Blackhawks, the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
For the most part, they were able to hang in there and play well and evenly with the Knights. But then giving up that goal early in the third, that is always a killer.
Goals in the first minute and last minutes of periods.
Yeah, and as we were listening to intermission show driving over here from the UC, and Troy Murray said, like, they've got to be ready to go. They've got to be ready for what Vegas is going to bring, because he was talking to Cassidy before the game, Bruce Cassidy, and he said, like, our veterans know when they need to step up and help. And sure enough, like, Vegas was just said, okay, it is time for us to win this game. We saw the Hawks do that over and over again during the dynasty, where bad teams or subpar teams would hang in with them for too long, and then all of a sudden they'd be like, all right, time for 3 quickies and let's get out of here with a win. That's what these teams can do when they're that deep, and hopefully the Hawks will get there at some point, but these learning experiences are good, and I think you're seeing a good response to the Colorado game. It's just, this is what a rebuild looks like. And if they're competitive against the best teams night after night, that's what you want.
Yeah, for 40 minutes they were toe-to-toe with the reigning champs, and then Vegas said, okay, we're the Golden Knights, you're the Blackhawks, here we are. And that was that. It was there for the taking. They could have, they had some chances. The power play continues to not be good. Yes, the Bedard goal was on a power play, but then they had 2 power plays in the third period, down a goal, and nobody wants to shoot the damn puck.
It's just all perimeter.
Yeah, skate around, try and get a pass across the middle.
Well,
simplify it.
The 1-3-1
too. Predictable.
The 1-3-1 is designed to have net traffic. You basically got 2 guys standing. You got one guy right in front of the goalie and one guy kind of between the circles in front of the goalie. And when Bedard's out there, you're trying to kind of work the puck in a little bit. But I don't know. They got to be a little more threatening. And I also think they need to be a little more selfish and shoot. Everybody is looking to pass all the time. Like, we'll get into it with Lucas Reichel, but he was a great example where he was flying over the ice today, weaving through guys, generating things with speed, and then he'd basically skate himself out of shooting position. He would peel off, and then there wouldn't be a pass there. There's not enough talent on this team to try to play that way. Are there a few guys that can play like that? Yes. You've got Bedard. You've got Reichel. Athanasiou can do it now and again. But in terms of, like, you're going to make this dazzling play, and then you're going to pass it to Ryan Donato, who may or may not receive the pass. So you kind of have to adjust the game to the talent you have. I still think the power play looks good. They have a lot of zone time. They have a lot of puck movement. They just need to convert. But it feels like the more they struggle to convert, the more frustrated they get. And we've seen this a lot from them this year, where they're not having any success, and then they just pass, nothing. They got to just start getting the puck on the net. And I know it sounds simple, and I know it sounds cliche, but there's a reason it's a cliche.
Well, yeah, you either do that or you do what Vegas was doing all night. On their power play, they were getting the penalty kill to move side to side, and that was opening up one-timers.
Yeah.
And they were actually taking one-timers.
Well,
that's like, get the puck, get it on your stick, and get it off your stick as quickly as possible.
But that's when we talk about, like, the elite teams versus the bottom feeder teams. It's the ability to, when the one-timer is there, to put the pass on the tape and to get the shot off. Whereas you might have an opportunity for a one-timer on the Hawks, but the pass is a little behind, or the shooter whiffs on it, or whatever. It's a skill thing. It takes skill to operate those one-timers, and yeah, I'm for them firing the puck more often. However it is, one-timer, point shot, whatever it is, get people in front, and you're going to get good things. Look, I mean, just think of the goals Vegas scored today. None of them spectacular by any means. They were just very routine goals. Like, it doesn't always have to be razzle-dazzle. And I think they need to learn. And I think, Connor Bedard had a good game, but I think he is learning these lessons that he's not going to be able to weave his way through 3 defenders anymore.
Well, yeah, and he's able to do that a lot in juniors, get through a guy, and then there's nobody behind that guy. Now he gets through that first guy, and there's 2 guys still there.
Yeah.
So by the time if he can get through the second or third guy, he's not in a great spot to shoot, and there's nobody on the wing that's keeping up with him to make a play or take the pass. So it's a learning curve for everybody still, and hopefully it improves. But yeah, I want to see a more simplified approach, not only just on the power play, but 5-on-5 too.
Yeah.
Just shoot more. Shoot like look at the second goal, the Reese Johnson goal. That was a product of Connor Murphy just getting the puck and flinging it towards the net. And, hey, look at that. Great redirect by Reese Johnson.
Yeah.
And you score.
It hit somebody in front. That's
just
it.
Put the puck on net. The skating around the perimeter, looking for the perfect play, looking for that cross pass, looking for the backdoor play constantly. If that's all you do, then people are going to defend it.
Yeah.
That play starts to open up more when they're expecting you to shoot.
Well, and that's, I think that's why you started to have, when you talk about the Vegas power play and getting people moving side to side, they're moving with them because they know the threat to shoot is there all the time, right? Like they know that if they get in that, if Vegas has the puck, there's a chance they're going to shoot. So they need to go back and forth to follow it because they know Vegas just knows like they're just waiting to get it to Bedard.
Yeah.
And then they close in on Bedard, and then he passes it to someone, and they fumble it, and then reset the power play. And it's not to say that Bedard had a perfect game by any means, but his talent level is so much higher than anyone else's that he's going to need to learn, as the whole team is going to need to learn, to simplify the game a little bit.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any easier. This hellacious start to the season continues because Boston's back in town Tuesday. And then, guess what? It's a trip out to Vegas for Friday. And then you get maybe a break at the Coyotes, but they're very good on their home rink.
It's good. It's a better team than everybody thought.
And then you play 5 games where it's Panthers, Devils, Lightning, Panthers, Devils.
Yeah, when the Lightning are your reprieve, it's not great.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody in the chat say the Hawks are on pace for 54 points. At some point, they're going to play some bad teams.
They're going to get Columbus. They're going to get the Sharks, the Ducks. December. They'll get some points in December.
Like this, if you look through this, the start of their schedule is absolutely brutal.
I mean, if their first 13 of 15 games are against legit contenders, well, that means there's going to be a lot of games at the end of the season against teams that aren't contenders. Yeah. Everybody plays everybody the same amount of times, so they're just catching it all in the early season, and that could be good, that could be bad. It's going to be a lot of learning experiences. You're going to, and from what we saw, there was improvement from that game in Denver to now. And, I know there was a point in the broadcast in the third period, our guy Darren Pang mentions, I don't want to make excuses, but I'm going to make one. I
don't want to hear that.
Enough of the 5-game road trip.
Yeah, I mean, there was validity to it in the Colorado game.
Yeah,
and once you're down, you're like, all right, this one's over. We're going to kind of coast in the rest of this one. But, no, that wasn't the case today.
I don't want to hear about the 5-game road trip anymore.
You got a young team. This team should be able to bounce back. And
you had a full house that was just waiting to have a reason to go crazy. It needed to be a little better there in the third period. But again, this is the reigning Stanley Cup champs versus a team that is, the very, very still very early stages of building their team.
Well, we got to look at some new lines today, so we're going to take a quick break, but then when we get back to that, we'll kind of talk about how the new lines looked and how they performed. But first, Greg's going to tell y'all about some bread.
Yes, bread.
We all love
hero bread. Yes,
bread is my hero.
It is. I'm a big fan of bread.
And bacon. Hi,
yes.
Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Charlie's here.
Yes, we had the only thing my delicious pocket bacon was missing was some bread to toast it and make a sandwich out of it. But, hero bread, it's not your normal bread. It's not, it's got all kinds of good stuff for you.
Ooh, tell me more.
It's not your typical full of carb bread that gets you something like this. It's got taste and texture. The bread is soft and fluffy. It's delicious. It's got primary nutritional interests like high fiber and or ultra low net carbs and 0 grams of sugar per slice. And as an extra incentive to buy some delicious hero bread there, you get 10% off your very first order by using the promo code CHGO at hero.co. Hero makes sliced breads, buns, and tortillas that are available on hero.co and Amazon as well. They have fewer calories than the leading national brand, 5 to 10 grams of protein per serving, fewer calories, fewer carbs, and more protein. So right now, Hero Bread is offering the CHGO family 10% off their very first order. Just go to hero.co and use the promo code CHGO and save on Hero Bread today. That's hero.co and save 10% right now.
It's a good deal. You know what's the greatest thing since sliced bread? The legalization of cannabis. Bacon came before sliced bread, I think, Charlie, for the record. So it can't be the greatest thing since. It was the greatest thing before. But if you want some of that legalized cannabis, head to our friends at Sunnyside. It's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors, from aficionados to novices, are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your football season. Went in there this weekend, and my dad was looking for something to take the edge off a little bit. Can't imagine why. And I said, hey, this is a product he's had before that is no longer made. What do you have that's like this? And they went through the entire system. We tried to find the most comparable thing. Boom. Found exactly what my dad needed, and he loved it. It's awesome. That's what the folks at Sunnyside do for you. They've got a great, transparent loyalty program called Sunnyside Rewards, so shop and get rewarded. I'm going to tell you about my favorite brands. Mindy's. They're the best tasting gummy and chocolate edibles created by James Beard award-winning chef Mindy Siegel and Cresco Labs. Get those black cherry edibles. They're amazing. And the good news, the gummies that help me sleep for the first time in my life. They also have the rechargeable vape pens and cartridges, perfect for great moments with the crew. But other great brands like Cresco, High Supply, FloraCal, Wonder, and Remedy. And now through October 31st, head to sunnyside.shop and use the code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. One use per customer, not stackable with other promotions, but that's not only for new customers. Anyone can use that code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your football season. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois Med Card holder. Reminding you to jump in and vote for the fourth star of the game. We got a close one today. Usually they're not this close. It is a closer one today. Nick Foligno, Reese Johnson, and Alex Vlasic are your candidates. Make sure you jump on there and get your vote in before the show ends. All right, so the new lines that Luke Richardson played tonight. Bedard centered Taylor Hall and Taylor Radish. So that was a change. Johnson, Reichel, and Athanasiou we've seen before. Dickinson, Foligno, and Perry we've seen before. And then Ryan Donato down to the fourth line with Boris Kachuk and Reese Johnson. What did you think of Taylor Radish on the top line?
He was fine.
Yeah.
Led the team in shots with 4. Took 2 penalties, though.
Yeah.
So, again, he gets this opportunity to be on the fourth line, and then he prevents the first line, and he prevents the first line from being out there for 4 minutes.
Yep.
So can't have that. But he was fine. You know, he's a bigger body than Ryan Donato. You know, he had no problem getting into the corners. He was helping that out. Before the season started, we all predicted our opening night lines, and we all had Radish on this line. So, yeah, I mean, Donato was fine up there too, but, you know, Donato is, I think Donato's value is playing him, using his versatility, playing him down in the lineup against Ryan Donato against other teams' top defensive pairs and top lines is just not going to get the job done.
He's great in a pinch, but he's not, can't be relied upon for full-time top six.
He's a role player
being
used in a top 6 role. You could argue the same thing about Taylor Radish. You know, it's interesting to see. I mean, I would think Luke's going to give him, you know, a few games here to see what happens. I mean, do you want to put a different guy out there every night? I don't know if that's the case, but if nobody, you know, Taylor Hall isn't exactly lighting the world on fire.
No,
really.
and I think it's pretty clear that even though he's playing, he's not 100%.
Right, and I know
he
missed,
left the game for a little bit today.
A little bit of time today and came back. So,
but like we said, like bringing him in is a really nice. It helps Bedard in a lot of ways, but he's no longer the kind of guy that drives play and is a threat. And this is probably a better an off day topic. We've talked about it a little bit so far this year, but if you're going to stick with Reichel at center, which I'm still on board with for a little while longer, I'm still willing to give it 10, 20 games before I pull the plug. I wouldn't mind seeing them go to get some help for Bedard. I'm sorry. Like, I know it is incongruous to the rebuild to go acquire someone with NHL ability and talent, but I just think that you're doing him a disservice by having him out there, the guys that can't help him play.
I mean, I don't want to...
With guys that can't help him play.
I don't want to go out and just trade for a guy just to trade for a guy, but if there's a guy that fits the long-term plan that can also help, you know...
Like, there's got to be some NHL team that has a glut of offensive young players that could use some help on D. And maybe you flip a Isaac Phillips for somebody, or maybe it is Connor Garland or whoever it might be, but I don't know. I still want to wait to pull the plug on Reichel until I see Kurashev back, because that line looked so good last year.
Yeah, and Reichel was...
He was good today.
He was good tonight. Like, I think part of Reichel's problem is he's worrying so much about not screwing up defensively that it's taking away from his offensive game. I think he's another one of these guys that just... He needs to score that first goal, and things are going to get back on track for him. You know, we said a lot of that about Bedard. He needs to score that first goal, he had the wraparound. But it was like, he needs to get that first goal from that shot, and he got it tonight. Yeah. And I was kind of hoping that, okay, Bedard's going to be out there, and he's going to be looking for blood the rest of the night, and then he pretty much spent the rest of the first period on the bench because of all the penalties, and by that point, you know, he never really got back in the flow of the game. He didn't have a ton of shot attempts. He only had the one shot on goal.
They actually carded him with 2 at the end.
They? Okay.
He did. I think that one night they kind of got thrown in front, and Perry was kind of there for it. I think that was they gave him a shot on that one. So he had 4 shot attempts, 2 shots on goal.
According to the actual event summary from NHL, he just had the one.
Okay, so ESPN is wrong. Shocking.
One shot, but you know, it's gonna. Yeah, it's pretty evident that right now there's not a lot that's can hang on and keep up with Bedard with his creativity. But I mean, how many guys like that really in the league are there?
There's not, but I don't know. I even if there was another, not that like Taylor Hall's like grow on trees, but someone even at that point, you know, with that kind of skill, the way Taylor Hall is now, that just can convert on chances and be ready to pick up a puck. Like, I just feel like whoever they're plugging in at the right wing there is just not ideal. And as the game was getting late, and I said, like, when is it time to throw Reichel on the line with Bedard and try to get this goal here? And then they got some power plays and they got some other opportunities, so that never really came to fruition. But it just feels like he needs. It just feels like he needs some help.
But again, it's 6 games into this. You know, hopefully Taylor Hall can start contributing a little more. He's obviously banged up still. You know, I'm not ready to give up on Reichel at center yet either. You got to give him. You promised him you're going to play him center this year. You can't pull the plug after 6 games.
I agree.
I don't have a problem playing him at center all 82 games. Like, that's the only way he's going to get better. You can't put him out there for 6 games and say, nope, you're obviously not a center. How can you say you're obviously not a center? You gave him 6 games.
And what we do know is
he's getting better.
Richardson and Davidson are very patient.
Yeah.
And they're willing to let him learn on the job.
This is the season to do it. There's no expectations for postseason. So figure it out now. So when, you know, your Oliver Moores and your Frank Nazars get here, two guys that, you know, people love. This is one of my new favorite things I hate on with this job is everybody that as soon as you draft a kid that plays center in junior or college, everybody wants to say he can't play center in NHL. How the F do you know that until he actually gets a chance?
Yep.
Like, okay, you watch 2 minutes of YouTube highlights of him and you've determined he can never play center in the NHL. Let them try it.
Yeah.
And Reichel was better at the dot tonight too. He won 8 of 14 draws tonight. So that's pretty good. And Connor Bedard was 6 of 12. So those young guys are starting to get better at the faceoffs. Jason Dickinson is not. 3 of 15
No.
tonight. He's not
That
been good.
is- yikes.
Maybe don't give him 15 draws next game.
Yeah, that's weird for a guy who was high up there. I know we got Mario standing by. We'll get to him in a second. The other little lineup change before we hit our second break here is you flipped Vlasic and Korchinski. So Korchinski played with Jones and Vlasic played with Murphy. Korchinski had, I don't want to say a rough game, like he played poorly, but there were a couple bad breaks for him. Like some passes, like some good passes that got intercepted, a couple turnovers. But you're still seeing him so confident with the puck moving. You knew the D was going to be a struggle for him, but it's with the speed and the puck moving. Again, another guy I want to see put the effing puck on the net every now and again.
Yeah, he had 3 shot attempts. 1 was blocked. Missed the net on the other 2. Was a -2. Had the assist. And then he had three giveaways on the night. So that's I'm totally thrown off
someone's
now.
knocking on our door and we don't know who it is.
There should be nobody else here right now. I don't have a clue who that was.
Is that I don't know. Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out.
There's a ghost in here or something.
Well, probably. All right, before we get to Mario, Greg's going to tell you about Circa. I'm going to tell you about some beer, and then we'll get Mario Tirabassi in here from the United Center.
Yes, the Circa Sportsbook app is now available in the great state of Illinois, so download it today. And what makes Circa Sportsbook different than all the other sportsbook betting apps that are out there? Well, they have tight money line splits. Games will strive to be a -10 split on Circa Sports menu, unlike other sportsbooks which may use a -115 or -120 splits.
Jerks.
Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to other books. Circa Sports also has high app limits and transparency. Easy for me to say. Circa Sports does not limit players based on the winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other sports books who do limit winning players. We encourage bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available and compare the lines from each sports book. You're going to find out that Circa is the best. And another added bonus is the customer service. There are real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other sports books who use the dreaded chat bots.
Boo.
All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also, be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you know have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Yeah, do that. Be careful when you gamble. And hey, we love beer. We love all kinds of stuff here. But there's no beer we love more than Goose Island. It is Chicago's beer since 1988, and we are supported by them, and we appreciate it. They've got an unbelievable beer roster. Of course, you got the Oktoberfest right now, the Beer Hug family, the 312 Wheat Ale, the Full Pocket Pills. That's what the Goose Island Brewmasters are drinking. You've got the Blackhawks Pale Ale out there, the Bull and Goose. That's the new Bulls one, right? Bull and Goose?
Sure. Yes, sounds like
I think that's what it's called. It's a cool can, I'll tell you that much. Get yourself some. Grab an ultra-fresh, brewery-exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne and Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer, and I don't know if we're allowed to officially say this or not, but I'm going to do it because, you know what? We want people to show up. We have an event with Goose this weekend, next Friday. It's going to be a watch party and a live post-game show at Legends Grill and Bar out in Mokina, 9710 191st Street, out in my neck of the woods.
That's so far.
It's too far south. Boo-hoo. Shut up. Come south. God forbid. It's an awesome place.
I got to get my passport renewed so I can travel
See,
to
I'm
Mexico
so tired
on
of this.
Friday.
All you north side people. The rest of the state has to come up north for every freaking thing.
Right.
Ravinia and any sort of concert and everything's downtown. God forbid you get to go one time south of Roosevelt.
North is better.
Boo-hoo.
That's why everything's up north.
9710 191st Street in Mokina. Legends Grill and Bar will be there with Goose Island They've got awesome food at that place. That is a fat guy guarantee. So come join us Friday for a watch party.
Just remember, it's a 5 o'clock puck drop. It's a weird Vegas
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock game time. So come right after work.
Yeah.
Don't even go home.
Or just don't go to work. Just come anyway.
Choo-choo. Or, maybe you third shifters come in before work. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. Whatever it takes, be there.
It'll be fun.
And pound some Goose
If
Islands.
I'm going all the way to Mokina, there better be some diehards there.
Wah. All right, let's go to the United Center.
I can't wait till we have the watch party at Myers Tavern in Wilmette, so you can cry about how far you got to go. I'm not even the one that has to go.
I'm not going to cry. It's part of living in this society. Whole world doesn't have to come to you all the time.
Bullshit.
Mario has a right to bitch. He lives basically in Door County.
Yeah, I booked my flight to Mokina yesterday, so we're good to go.
There you go. All right, I saw your tweets, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. I think you can predict one of the complaints we had about this game, and I know Luke said similar. What were his takeaways about the offense in this one?
Yeah, I mean, you watch the game. It's no secret that shooting the puck was something that the Blackhawks didn't do enough of in the eyes of many people watching the game, including Luke Richardson. On a number of occasions in his post-game presser, he mentioned wanting the team to have a more shoot-first mentality, and he didn't categorize it as the team trying to be too cute, but rather looking to make the perfect play. And we've seen that many times. This is not a new issue with these Blackhawks. This goes back to the last 10 years. It's the simplest thing in hockey is to shoot the puck on the net and see what happens. Either you beat the goalie makes a save, or there's some sort of rebound and secondary chance opportunity. It's a very simple game sometimes. On the power play, especially tonight, there were a lot of chances for the Blackhawks created because of the great player and puck movement. I will give the team credit for that, but there were a lot of opportunities where a shot on net or a shot for a rebound would have been welcomed. And you saw late in the game, I can't remember exactly what power play it was, but there was a shot on net and there was a scramble. Ryan Donato and Corey Perry were in there trying to jam a loose puck past Aiden Hill, and then it trickled out, and Seth Jones was just a few inches away from getting a stick on the loose puck and keeping possession. But look, like, those are the things that I think this team, as much as we talk about the depth that they have compared to last year of NHL caliber talent, this still is a team that needs to benefit from making something out of the simple plays. As much as we would all love to see a tic-tac-toe backdoor tap-in goal, it's also counts just the same if Corey Perry throws it on the net and Nick Foligno jams in a rebound. It all counts. So I think Richardson wants to see the team have more of that mentality, have more of that urgency to put the puck on net rather than try and make one or two extra passes so it looks pretty on the highlight reel.
I'm looking at the all strengths, all situations metrics here, and the Hawks had the Fenwick advantage, the Corsi advantage. Shots in this game were 24-23 in favor of Vegas, but when you look at the high danger chances, 10-5 for Vegas. Like, they were the ones who were truly generating like tougher chances. Like, the Hawks seemed like a lot was from the perimeter. When we get to talk to Luke again, I want to ask him, like, okay, we've heard this a lot this season about these perimeter shots and trying to do too much. How do you coach that out of them? What are the things you can do to discourage that? Is it like if there's more than 3 passes on a play, we backskate you? I don't believe that. I'm kidding. But really, like, how can you just shout from the bench? Shoot it. I don't know.
Shot
collars. Yeah, just zap somebody if they look like they're going to pass.
Yeah, as soon as you pass the puck, you zap them.
I just want to know, how do you coach that out? Because there's been some people in the chat, critical of the fact that, hey, this keeps happening, and at some point it becomes a coaching issue. That's fine, but it's like, they can say shoot till they're blue in the face. They can't go on the ice and guide their stick for them like Chubbs and Happy Gilmore. It's all in the hips, right? It's up to the players once they're on the ice to execute the game plan. So
yeah,
I don't know how you get it to change.
He talked about that. Talked about they have to continue to kind of hammer it in that's kind of the mentality that they want to see to have is shoot first. There's never a bad never a bad play to put the puck on net. I think he didn't sound frustrated, but I think the way he worded the response and saying, we have to keep pounding it into him, probably comes from a little bit of frustration that, they are trying to implement the shoot first mentality. It does seem like it is a message coming from the coaching staff that when put into practice on the ice and in execution is maybe the team that's out there trying to do a little bit too much, trying to make trying to chase a goal, and especially on a power play when you have guys like Connor Bedard out there trying to create a lot of chances. Sometimes it's just using that shot is the best way to create a chance. As many no look backhand cross ice saucer passes, as cool as those may look, they're very much not as effective as just trying to throw the puck on net, get a rebound, or maybe just beat the goalie anyway. So I think the coaching staff is trying to deliver that message. It's just kind of come down to the execution of it in games. Maybe it is implementing some sort of shot clock drill in practice where you get the puck into the zone, you got to get a shot off in 10 seconds or something. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see if there's any change between now and Tuesday night's game.
I know you had the chance to talk to Connor Bedard. Interested to hear what he had to say. Anything you need to do to set this one up, or does it speak for itself?
Speaks for itself. Connor talks about the first game at the United Center experience, and definitely pay attention to probably like the last, I'd say 30 to 45 seconds of it. A really good quote from Connor regarding just kind of all the craziness that's been surrounding him and the team to start the year. So let's hear from Mr. Bedard himself.
What would you like to wait 90 seconds to get the first one?
It's always nice to score, and I think whether it's first career goal or first goal here, it's always nice to get that, and feels good to get it quick. And it was big for our power play, I think, to see one go in. And but obviously now it's it doesn't feel as good, but in the moment it was great for sure.
I know in Boston when you scored, you said it didn't feel right because it was a loss. Can you separate that here? Just what like that? Can you capture that kind of moment in time and remember that in a positive way? Yeah,
you can remember it for sure, but I think when you're kind of looking back on it, but obviously right now you're focused on what we can do better to win, and but obviously as a moment in your life, kind of looking back, you'll remember it.
Did you feel that energy from puck drop with the fans?
Yeah, it was electric in there, and it was really cool for me, and all the guys that you get energy from that, and I think for us to get one early and get them up like that was great, and they were awesome. So it was a lot of fun to play in front of them.
What did you see on your goal?
I was just alone in the slot, and tried to hit a spot, and fortunately I did. So you don't really get that many opportunities like that. So it was I just try to make the most of it.
Were you surprised by how alone you were in the high slot there?
Game's so fast, you're not thinking about it like that, but it's rare to get that. But just kind of how the play worked out with the battle down low, and
How about the rest of your game tonight?
Sorry?
How about the rest of your game tonight?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, obviously that third goal was definitely my fault, and can't start a period like that. So that's something I gotta be better in, and I know that, and everyone knows that. So I thought we had our looks, and it was a pretty even game overall. But it's inches like that, and I gotta take responsibility for that.
You just got to be deeper in the zone on that one, and just be back checking more.
Yeah, just have my guy. And,
You talked about the anticipation of playing at home in front of these fans. Did it live up to what you expected it to be in terms of the energy and the atmosphere?
Yeah, for sure. Even more so, I'd say. I've heard so many great things, and obviously saw it in preseason, or even when I got drafted, we had a pretty electric crowd there. It was awesome. But just to finally get that real game, and to see, how energetic they are, how much they love us. It's awesome, and we couldn't say more how much we appreciate it.
You got to settle in. You got to settle in on the road. Was there any extra nerves coming into this home opener?
No, I think just excitement. I think you're a tiny bit nervous for every game, just for me, just kind of how much I care. And but today was think getting games in now, it's nice to have that comfort level. And I was really excited, of course, home opener, but also going against the champs and getting to test yourself and your team against the best. It was fun.
Are you kind of looking forward to things? Kind of looking forward where things would be a little more normal than all the hoopla before a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty wild. I think ever since kind of before campish, it's been crazy, but it's not something I look at as a negative at all. It's I'm really grateful to be in the position I am, and there's very few people that get that opportunity, get to be as lucky. So I'm looking at it like that, and I'm living out a dream, and I feel very fortunate for that. But it is crazy and busy, and I'm human too. I can get a little tired, but no, it's been good, and just enjoying it.
Thanks.
That's the first time he's really acknowledged that it was getting to be a lot. And he's still, I think he does a good job of qualifying and saying, it's great, I'm happy to have it, it's a privilege to be here, all that sort of stuff. But was every road game a home opener for the opponent, or was all but one? Every
I don't
game.
think the Toronto one was.
Toronto, I think, was the only one that wasn't. I think
Everything else was.
I think everything else was.
Tonight, it's a home opener, and it's all the hoopla before. I think he and I think the entire team is very much looking forward to a regular ass game, where their routine is not thrown off, where they're not distracted by a million things. That was the first little crack he showed that, it's getting to be a bit much. But I think he's not saying that personally. I think he's saying it for the team.
Yeah.
Because it is an inconvenience to, we saw the Golden Knights they go off for warm-ups to get ready, and then there's a 10-minute ceremony they got to wait through, and it throws you off, and,
They had that last year. Remember they had the banner-raising ceremony for the
Avalanche, yeah.
And then wasn't the next night in San Jose when Patrick Marleau made a 7-hour speech?
Yeah.
He's still there.
Patrick Marleau's still talking.
And it was the second time in a row they went to, because the time they went to San Jose before, they were honoring Doug Wilson. So it's the Blackhawks are in town. Time to pull out somebody to honor. Maybe they'll honor Jeff Friesen next time they're out in San Jose.
Arturs Urbe. It's Arturs Urbe night. Oh, damn it. He never shuts up. No, but I've been really impressed with how Bedard has, we first saw him at development camp, very cliche, very by the book. Then towards the end of that, loosened up a little bit. Then training camp, a little bit more loosened up. And now he feels like just another one of the guys. He answers questions with a little more honesty. He answers them, openly. And I think he's really starting to get he's getting experience. That's for damn sure. I think he's done a masterful job. But I think he and all of them are looking forward to just some normalcy. And I think Tuesday is really the first opportunity they're going to have at that.
They're going to have a day off tomorrow, and then Monday will be their first practice at the Fifth Third Arena since training camp.
Yeah.
And then it's just a normal home game on Tuesday.
Yeah. And by the way, a Region Rev says, maybe if he just keeps answering every question the same, people will catch on. The reason is that whatever market he goes to, that city's media requests to talk to him.
Right.
And that's what happens to Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby. And that's the stars of the game all have to deal with that. But especially for Bedard coming into this year, it was nuts, because not only is it his first game and it's on the road against Sidney Crosby, but it's also ESPN's first game. Then it's TNT's first game. So you have all the national media is there and the extra media is there. And it's been a ton for him. So I think now that they're in this routine and the flow of the regular season, I still think he's going to have to talk when he's on the road, either after, the practice day before, the morning skate, or post game, but it's not going to be twice a day, every day for the rest of the season. And that's not fair to anybody. No player should have to have that sort of responsibility.
Yeah, no, I would imagine, there'll be fewer post games at home, because, at home the team brings out 2, maybe 3 guys. It's not a full locker room. So, obviously, first game at home, he scored. They're going to have him out there. Morning skates are different, because when you're in the morning skate, you get the access to the full room and everybody's in there. So
Right.
of course,
And they're all going to go to him.
of course, they're going to gravitate to him. So, as more storylines develop and more players start, producing or hitting milestones, the attention will go away a little bit. But listen, he's handling all of it very well.
Seems like it.
None of the, it doesn't seem to have affected him at all on the ice. He's got 2 goals, 4 points in 6 games. The Colorado game was a rough one for him, but that's because he was playing a great team that said, that kid's not scoring on us tonight, and he didn't.
Right.
But, I remember when we said he was going to get mic'd up for the first game in Pittsburgh, people were like, oh, that's a distraction. It's not. Playing hockey.
I would score this goal if only this pesky microphone wasn't underneath my pads.
You know where he doesn't get any distraction and nobody's in his face asking him questions? When he's on the ice playing hockey.
Right.
That's his comfort zone. That's all he wants to do.
Or in the bathroom,
There might be
as far as we know.
well, unless he's at Chuck Berry's restaurant.
Google that one, Mario.
Yeah, you're a little young for that one. Or don't Google it.
Anyone else have thoughts after the game?
No, no one had a thought.
All right. Well, it's hockey players, so.
Then they're in the perfect show for that.
No, it was Reese Johnson spoke after the game as well. He talked about scoring his goal and made an incredible play, and he's definitely come in to the lineup. He's in a completely different situation than last season, where his spot in the lineup, once he got in and had a couple of good games, it was pretty much locked in that he was going to be a regular until it was showing that he needed to take a break for whatever reason. But now it's like once he's in the lineup, he has to make every shift and every game count, because you got guys like Boris Tkachuk and Mackenzie Entwistle and Colin Blackwell all trying to get into the lineup and stay into the lineup as well. We talked about it through the training camp and preseason time, where that fourth line, really no one had a job locked up, and it's going to be basically a day-by-day, game-by-game case on who's going to be playing there. But he's definitely made an impact and made his time noticeable since he's been in, and he's going to have to keep doing that with Phil Kurashev and Colin Blackwell both skating with the team this morning at morning skate. It looks like those guys are going to be coming back to health and back to the team pretty soon. We saw Cole Gutman sent down to Rockford today because of that, that coming to fruition pretty soon. So it's just kind of becoming a numbers game. So who knows? Maybe, Mackenzie Entwistle or Reese Johnson might be one of those players that's being looked at as maybe one of those players that's going to get edged out next once Kurashev and Blackwell and potentially Colton Dock be getting back to health sooner rather than later. So we'll see about that. But he played a good game tonight. He talked about the energy in the crowd and talked about the atmosphere with every shot, every hit, every little thing that happened in the game had some sort of reaction to it from the UC crowd. And he talked about how he could feel it, the team could feel it, and he highlighted the atmosphere tonight. So and it was incredibly noticeable. It was obviously the home opener Saturday night. You got the defending Stanley Cup champions in town. You got the red carpet event. You got Connor Bedard's first game. Just the energy was cranked up like it hasn't been in a couple of years. So that energy was noticeable, and Reese Johnson's a guy that I think can feed off of that kind of atmosphere.
You guys were there this morning for the morning skate when Luke talked, and does it sound like I don't know if I'm as on board with Colin Blackwell as being handed a roster spot just because.
I don't think so.
It sounded to me like Luke was sort of talking about and he'll be back soon, and just there he is, he's just part of things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Both Colin Blackwell and Philip Kurashev skated this morning with the morning skate. Yeah, I don't really see what Colin Blackwell brings to this team right now.
I imagine Blackwell is going to, when he comes back, get the conditioning stint with the Ice Hogs. I would imagine that would be the case that would go with him. I agree. I don't think he's just going to be cleared to return to the ice and he's going to step right into the lineup. I would think because he hasn't skated in any kind of game or practice situation, basically all training camp, that he's going to probably go to Rockford on a conditioning stint, and then we'll see from there. I don't think he's going to jump right into the lineup. Kurashev, on the other hand, I think would go right back into the lineup and go from there. I see people in the chat asking about Gutman and waivers. He is waivers exempt, so he didn't have to go through any waivers. He can.
That was a straight.
He can go right down.
Yeah, we didn't have a pregame show, so we really didn't get to discuss the Gutman move. You know, he's a guy that's been healthy scratch the last 2 games. Kurashev coming back. Blackwell is there. So yeah, and Luke, a lot of people were kind of like, oh, I don't know why they're sending him down. He looked impressive at times. The bottom line is this, and Luke Richardson said it perfectly this morning. He's going to go down to Rockford, and he literally said he's going to be the top guy down there. He's going to play big minutes.
Yeah, he was the top line center tonight.
So when he gets down there, he's going to play big minutes, big role. So when he does get called back up, he's going to be ready to go just like he was last year. What's more beneficial for a guy like Cole Gutman right now? Playing 18 to 20 minutes every night, playing top power play, top line in Rockford, or playing 11 minutes on the 3rd or 4th line in Chicago and then only playing every 2 out of 3 games? Still a young guy, still got a lot to learn. I think this was and being the only guy out of those guys to get to have no waivers probably was a reason too. Not that I would think that, you know, I think a guy like Reese Johnson or Mackenzie Entwistle will probably clear Boris Tkachuk as well. But you know, Boris Tkachuk, I think, is an every night player at this point.
He's been really good.
He's been their best penalty killer and very good defensively. Boris Tkachuk has been really good this year. He's not going to score many goals. He's not going to, make the highlight reel plays, but he does all those little. Mario, you said in the press box tonight, and he's a guy that I think has finally accepted what his role is to stay in the NHL, and he's embracing it.
Yeah,
and he's been really good.
Yeah, I mean, he is doing everything he needs to do to stay on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, he had a number of instances tonight where I, noticed him on the forecheck, keeping a possession alive in the offensive zone, and that whole 4th line with Donato and Entwistle and Reese Tkachuk and Reese Johnson tonight, they were really effective. So it's great to be able to be in that position where your 4th line, no matter who's playing, can be effective. It's not a 4th line that you only throw out there for 4.5 minutes a night and hope they don't cost you a goal or 2. Like, they're out there, they're trying to be productive and make plays happen. And Tkachuk is one of those guys that at least 2 or 3 times tonight, because you can't cheer in the press box, under my breath, I'm like, that's a good freaking play to keep a play alive, to get a puck possession back. He made a number of those tonight. So yeah, I would agree. I would think Tkachuk is, as far as the pecking order goes of the guys at the bottom of the lineup, he's the one that's got the strongest hold on a roster spot right now.
And that line got rewarded with the Reese Johnson goal. That was started because Connor Murphy said, "Screw it, I'm just gonna shoot the puck."
Yep.
And look what happens. Weird how that works. That's the video when Luke is in there talking about you guys need to simplify it and shoot more. That's the video you show. Get puck, shoot puck.
That sounds right to me. It just should not be as difficult as it's been. But I think when frustration comes, trying to do too much comes, and that's what they need to fix. All right, we got a couple things we need to do. Why don't we do Connor's Corner first and play our fancy new little song that everybody loves so much? All right, welcome into Connor's Corner. Connor had a power play goal. He had 2 shots on goal. He played well with his friends. He shared his toys. He had 17:26 of ice time. That was Connor Bedard's night, scoring on his first shot at the United Center. And it's funny, like, you remember when Kane and Taves scored on his first shot on his first shift, and like there seemed to be these like notable debuts for a lot of great Hawks players. So Connor Bedard doing his part to set a little bit of a legend for himself too, scoring on his first ever shot at the United Center.
Yeah. It was a fun moment, exciting moment. It was good to have that feeling in the building again. And you mentioned how Reese Johnson was talking about, the reactions in the building. Even though he's now played, 100 NHL games, he's never played in the United Center like that full, into the game. A lot of those guys. Seth Jones has never played in front of a crowd like that at the UC. You could argue Connor Murphy hasn't really either. Maybe the last game with Taves and the Hossa Nights, they had big crowds, but this was a crowd that was there to see this team.
Wanting and expecting a win.
Yep.
It's a nice
Get used to it.
And you start off the game with the guy everyone's coming to see do well, score a goal. Like I've never covered a playoff game in here. I've never actually been to a playoff game in this building. I imagine that's what it felt like, because with the atmosphere coming off of, the game introduction and the honoring of Rocky Wirtz, the anthem, the power play goal less than 2 minutes into the game while the crowd is still hot after all of that to begin the game. I mean, that was my adrenaline was through the roof. It was awesome, and I would imagine, not a lot of these guys have experienced that in this building before, or at least been on the right side of it. Maybe some guys as opponents have felt that, but I mean, I would love for that to continue. I think there is a better energy in the United Center this season around this team than it was last season. Last season was very dark clouds and doom and gloom. I think the optimism is felt in the fan base, and I think that came through tonight at the UC, and hopefully it continues into Tuesday night as well.
Correctly, on my way over here, remember we talked about this with Jamie Faulkner, the Blackhawks Classics, where they deem a game a classic, and all of a sudden you can get like a commemorative ticket. Did I hear correctly that they announced this as one of those Blackhawks Classics?
Yes, they in the third period at one point they put on the screen in honor of Connor Bedard's first goal at the United Center. This game has now been deemed a Blackhawks Classic. To be honest, there was no way this wasn't going to be a Blackhawks Classic. They were going to do it anyways, but he gave them a very good reason to do it. So, if you had a ticket to tonight's game, you were able to go and get an actual physical commemorative ticket like the old days. And really cool that we got an opportunity to see what those are going to look like with Bedard's goal highlighted on them.
It looks like Windy City Hockey may have ordered one. Hockey, if you did, let us know in the comments. Like, what did it cost? What was the process for getting it done? Because as credential media, we don't have tickets, so we don't even have access to really order these if we wanted to. So interested to see how it works. So let us know in the chat or hit us up on Twitter or whatever, and we'll let people know. I'm really interested to see what those look like. It's such a great idea. Yeah. And I think let's spend a little bit of time, too, getting into the presentation. The Rocky Wirtz video was unbelievable. It was emotional, and it was real, and it was raw, and like to see after they all spoke on the video, the entire Wirtz family is sitting in Rocky's section with his chair. There's red or yellow roses on Rocky's seat, and Danny and his siblings, and everybody was crying. It was very, very emotional.
There was somebody was chomping onions in the press box.
Yeah,
I was fighting back tears, but this is somebody, I can put myself in Danny and the kids' shoes. I've lost my dad. I know what it's like, and I know what I can't even imagine being, there at that spot for the first time.
Yeah.
And him not being there is a tough moment. Great tribute. I wasn't expecting anything less. The Blackhawks, when they do these types of ceremonies, these video presentations, it's always top notch, and they hit you in the heartstrings tonight. And even the new video opening,
I thought that was really cool.
Was cool. That we respect us. Kind of a cool.
In us we trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's us we trust, you know.
In us we trust, yeah.
So
Yeah.
very cool with CM Punk, who's got a lot of free time these days to make videos.
Love your little shots. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Hey.
I
To quote CM Punk, tell me when I lie.
Now I have a question. Was that just for tonight, or is that going to be the opening night for opening video for each game?
That's a lot of production for one night.
I think that's going to be the every night one. I think I think we're not going to have Luke Richardson's alarm clock anymore going off in the building.
My question is it going to be money for nothing? Is the music they take the ice to? That kind of sounded cool.
I think that was just for the player intros.
But then they had like a Seven Nation Army like remix.
Yeah, just stick with the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Stick with the old school Metallica.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we'll see Tuesday.
The apocalypse of the Blackhawks is over. We don't need the Four Horsemen anymore.
That song makes me want to run through.
Who's popping in behind you there, Mario?
This is Jay. Other Jay.
Hi, Joe. Other Jay. Come on our show sometime.
Yeah, we could talk about the Fugees.
Tired of talking to each other.
Yeah.
Ask Jay to give us a review of the Fugees.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Fugees, I will say on the record, I have heard of them before. So put me in that
there
club.
you go.
That was another morning skate.
By the way, Windy City told us it is $10 for the ticket, $5 shipping. So $15 per. So it's however many tickets you get, it's 10, and then shipping is 5. I see Sebastian says that he got 2 tickets for 25.
All right, $10.
So I think that's
reasonable.
Pretty reasonable. It's reasonable.
Sure.
To have that forever, it's very cool. I want to see when it arrives. Let us know. Share it with us, and we'll share it on the show for sure.
Yeah, give us all your QR codes so we can all scan it and make copies.
Exactly. All right, couple other things to do. I want to make sure I acknowledge Brian's super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Brian. We appreciate that. And all right, we have a winner. We ready to declare this, Steven?
Yeah, we have a winner here.
All right, who is the 4-star of the game?
This one was pretty close, but drum roll. It is Alex Vlasic.
All right. I loved his game. There were several times during this game where I just looked at Greg. I'm like, that's a great effing play by Vlasic. I think I did it 3 or 4 times in this one.
Vlasic is slowly but surely becoming a top pairing defenseman.
He really is. He's playing very well.
Super smart. Always seems to be in the right place. And when he's not in the right place, he's got an 85-foot reach. He's going to get to that puck.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just he is just so poised and so calm. Credit to he who shall not be named. That was a solid draft pick that a lot of people didn't see coming. So, all right, now the most important part.
And they actually developed him.
Yeah.
All right.
Who won? Who won? Who's your Hawk?
Are you asking
Steven,
me?
I forgot. I just want to hear someone else say it.
I'm just going to look at it right now. And look at that. The guy that picked Connor Bedard on his first game at the UC got the win.
So brave. So brave.
This is crushing my skull. It like messes up my glasses, so everything is warped. And my mic just broke somehow. There we go.
Oh, nice. It's all falling apart. See, there's bad things happen when you win.
I am the wiener. I've finally done it. This fits me better than you, Mario.
Yeah,
I'm still being impaled by the spike, though.
It just illustrates the size difference between our craniums.
That's right. So I had Connor Bedard. He scored a goal. You had Taylor Hall.
Had an assist on that goal.
Assisted, yes. And Mario had Andreas Athanasiou. All good picks. So the current standings, Mario leads with 3. I have 2. Greg has 1. Greg gets first pick next game on Tuesday. So that should be a lot of fun.
I wonder who he'll take.
Yeah.
Reese Johnson, man.
Reese Johnson. Play the hot hand, baby.
That's true.
Play the hot hand. All right, Mario, anything to add before we spring you?
I did want to, not to take up a whole bunch of more time, but I did want to talk about Bedard in the video that we played, taking complete ownership over the goal that started off the third period for Vegas and served as the game winner, or not game winner tonight, but served as the essentially the game winner, besides Corey Perry's last second garbage time goal. But Keegan Kolesar coming through the middle of the ice on a transition rush for Vegas, gets behind Bedard, ends up setting up the 3-2 goal. Bedard, after the game, as you heard, took complete responsibility for that play, saying that he just completely missed his man, missed his assignment, and something he's going to have to look at tape and learn and get used to the speed of the NHL. Luke Richardson also talked about that play, about where Bedard kind of went wrong on his assignment, but also that Seth Jones could alleviate a little bit of Bedard's defensive responsibility by not being as high as he was on the play. But I thought it was just interesting for Bedard to completely take ownership over that and recognize that in the post game, and probably even in the moment too, trying to recover on the play and make up for it. So again, it's those things that he's doing as a young NHL center, and it's going to be across the board with him and with Reichel this season as far as responsibilities as a center. That's what they're going to have to get used to, learn from, and I did find it commendable that he was just like, no, I just completely blew the assignment on the play. So hopefully he'll learn from it and move forward into the next game.
I just love that he is a willing defender. He's not just going out there and like waving a stick at you to pretend to play defense. We've seen him go lift sticks. We've seen him go back check. We've seen him make some pretty decent defensive plays. So yeah. Lesson learned. I know he got nudged like at center ice as that breakout started, so it put him a little behind the play, and then it looked like he kind of dove out too soon a little bit. So hey, again, these are things he will learn as his career goes on, and he'll get better every game, because the last guy on this team I'm worried about, and it's not just because of his talent, it's because of his damn work ethic, is Connor Bedard. Anything he feels his game needs, he is going to do everything he can to add that to his game. So we got a good one here in Chicago. Hawks fans should be excited, even if it hasn't been the 20 points in 5 games people were hoping for. He's been, I think, without a doubt, their best and most consistent player.
Yeah, that's
at least up front.
Yeah, and I love a kid taking ownership and saying, "Yeah, my bad, I screwed that up," and then next time that situation arrives, hopefully, he learns from the mistake. And that's all you can ask for. Everybody's going to make the mistakes. Just don't repeat them.
Exactly. All right, Mario, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Drive safe. Thanks for all the insight.
Yeah, I will see you guys on Monday.
That's right, Monday at 2:30. We're back. All right, before we go, we want to tell you about becoming a diehard. If you may have noticed this weekend, ALLCITY.com is under construction. We are improving the website. It'll be good to go very, very soon. So hold tight.
Highway
there.
Getting into the city is construction, so we're just
right.
following the theme.
But it's going to become, not that it wasn't user-friendly before, but it's going to become way more user-friendly, all those sort of things. So stay tuned. It should be good to go by Monday at the very, very latest. And once it's ready to go to allchgo.com, become a diehard. Get yourself a free T-shirt. Or a free hat. I know the hats are finally arriving. I don't know exactly when they'll be available, but they're coming soon. We've got podcasts and live shows for every team every day. Of course, post-game shows. We've got premium written content for members at allchgo.com, including the Rebuild Report, which debuts this week, correct?
That's the plan.
And I've got my Blackhawks beat that comes out every Tuesday. 20% off all CHGO events. All the great merch we've got at chgolocker.com. We've got the members-only Discord, the CHGO Lounge. And for our next 2 tailgates, right? We have 2 left or 3?
Yeah, 2 left, including tomorrow.
X Golf will be giving away a $200 gift certificate to any of their Chicagoland locations. Find the X Golf nearest you at playxgolf.com/Chicagoland. If you don't know what X Golf is, it's like a higher-end, bougier Topgolf. So you're going to want to do that. That $200 will go a long way for you at X Golf. So join us at our CHGO Bears tailgates, allchgo.com. And as always, the diehard save 20% on that and the merch. So jump on it, become a diehard. We'd love to have you. If you like what we're doing here, help support us. And a really easy way to support us, a free way to support us, is to hammer that like button on your way out and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We would really appreciate everybody taking a few seconds to do that for us. Really, we really would, because We've had a glut of anti-Chicago people coming in there when Bedard won the draft, giving it 1-star reviews and all this crap. So offset that for us. Leave us some 5-star reviews. We'd really appreciate that. Yeah. So with that, we're going to wrap things up. We are back Monday at 2:30 with a live show. We'll get into some of the things we've learned through these 6 games and preview the game Tuesday against the Bruins. So until then, have a great weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll talk to you Monday on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.